Through the concrete cracks worn weary by work boots and high heels. Through the concrete cracks showered in tears of sorrow, tears of joy. Through the concrete cracks rumbled by reverberations of 100 years, a flower on the hill takes its first breath, and a grand hope springs. Welcome to the Spring Street podcast at the intersection of creation and destruction in the heart of downtown Los Angeles. And now, a word from the sponsors. This podcast is sponsored by Starship Kairos, a podcast studio available for bookings in downtown Los Angeles. Starship Kairos is where my guests and I make this show happen. Soundproofed, cozy, and equipped with professional audio gear, Starship Kairos is an ideal location for any type of podcast. Starship Kairos offers a full suite of services including content consultation, mixing and mastering, and custom jingle writing. For rates and booking, check them out on Instagram at Starship Kairos or click on the link in the description. And now, let's dive in. Wes, welcome to the Spring Street podcast, man.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really glad that we're doing this. Straight out the gate, you just released a new track. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
It sounds awesome. You've definitely got quite a handful of streams from me. Because I've been bumping that. Tell me a little bit about how this track came together, the story around it.
Yeah. It's a beautiful story, really. The woman that sang the song, her name is Chandler Layton. She's an incredible artist. I first heard her sing a song called Lonely, where she was featured on Alenium. Alenium is like a different realm of dance music, but I first heard her sing the song Lonely with on Alenium's production, and I fell in love with her voice immediately, and that was in 2018.
Okay.
Or 2019, wow. Yeah, 2018, 2019, right in there. It's kind of a blur, I'm sorry, but I had always wanted to work with Chandler Layton ever since then. Fast forward to me, and I was in the Navy at that time, and that's something we'll circle back to later, but I had gotten out and, moved to LA, attended Icon Collective, which is a music school here in LA.
Interesting. Where's that at?
It's in Burbank.
Nice.
Beautiful school. It's truly about nurturing creativity and kind of finding your, it's really about nurturing the artist, really expressing yourself, speaking your truth. And obviously it's a technical school too, so they teach production and engineering and that, and the whole gambit for anything music world professional, working in studios or recording, everything you can imagine on the technical side they do. But I'd say the biggest takeaway from Icon is how much they nurture artistry and help each person there find who they are really within music. And that's where I found garage, where I found the music that I make and that I love. I found it there at Icon. But I had just been in LA, and I had been invited to a party where I had met Chandler Layton, this woman that I already knew who she was. I had heard that song Lonely with Alenium, and I love her music. She had already started releasing her own solo pop music. I hate saying that, pop music. It's demeaning to me, but her music is incredible. It's so
why
good.
is it demeaning to you?
Pop is just such a blanket term. I don't want to blanket. I can't. For me to blanket her as a pop artist is just disrespectful, I think, in many ways. Most people wouldn't see it that way, but for me, as a creative and her as a creative, as an artist, she's so much more than just a pop artist. She speaks truth. She writes from her soul. I mean, her music, you can feel it in your bones. It gives you chills. She's incredible. And it's because she's real. And we had met at this party, and we had just really hit it off, just chatting. We had both worked actually with a mutual artist. I had done a remix for this artist, and she had done a top line for this artist. His name is Nurko. And so that was kind of our middle ground. We started talking about Jack Nurko. And anyway, that night turned into, I drove her home that night. And because I was like sober, I wasn't drinking. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can drive you home. Dropped her off at hers. And when we were actually on that drive, we had just shared a bunch of music. I had showed her all the stuff I was working on, and she had showed me a bunch of stuff that she was working on. And she was like, dude, we gotta like make some music together. Like, let's just write together. And I'm like, in the back of my head, like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Fucking Chandler Lane. Yeah, wow. I was geeking, absolutely geeking, like a little kid in a candy store, just like, wow, this is surreal, you know? Like, I just moved to LA. I can't, you know, people talk about the land of opportunity, blah, 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 this and that. It's like, wow, this is a beautiful thing. This is actually happening. And yeah. A few weeks later, her producer, Brennan Loney, incredible musician, incredible artist, incredible producer. He hit me up and was like, hey, Chandler said she would be interested in doing a session. We should link up before, and, you know, we'll just maybe produce a little bit, go through some songs and stuff, and let's set a date, you know. And so we set a date. They came over to my house, but Brennan came 2 hours earlier. And he kind of was just like vetting me essentially, you know, just checking out my tunes, checking out my vibes, you know, asking questions about, you know, what my musical background is. You know, I was playing piano for him. I feel like I was like a little bit of a trials in a way, but not really. It was like just a couple of homies, you know, just vibe checking with the music and stuff. And eventually he like texted Chandler and was like, yo, come through. Like, yeah, let's get something going. So she came over, and we wrote that song in my bedroom, Feel for Once. Yeah. We chatted for a while. You know, we've all been through these dark times, where we're lonely, and especially here in LA, there's, you know, obviously a big party scene. A lot of the afters culture, you know, post club at 2 a.m., you know, you go to the afters and, you know, continue on until sunrise. And, and it's easy to get lost in that world, you know, especially when you're lonely and you're going through it. So Feel for Once is really an ode to that. I mean, the lyrics, it's like, you know, if I get high enough, if I drink too much, will I feel for once? When the lights come up, my eyes start to shut, will my mind go numb? You know, it's because you don't want the night to end. And it's really an ode to just like that feeling of, it really is just, it comes from sadness, you know. It's a dark tune, really. It's a dark tune over a very classic, upbeat, dancey, you know, beat. But the answer is no. I will say the answer is you will not feel for once if you drink too much. If you know what I mean. If you get high enough, if you drink too much, will you feel for once? The answer is no. The answer to that question is to seek your friends and your family and to speak to them, to seek a therapist and speak to your therapist. And like, honestly, just like, you need to connect with people and speak about these things that are troubling you, because if you turn to drugs and you turn to alcohol, you're just going to numb yourself. You're not going to feel for once. So that's really the story about the song.
Did you write the lyrics, or did she write the lyrics?
Chandler, yeah. It was literally the three of us in the room. I'd say, we came up with, you know, I'm not so much of a songwriter. So we just talked about these concepts, and Chandler and Brennan, they're just geniuses. They work so well. So they sat there, and Chandler just started riffing on the mic. I just, you know, got to record. I could tell she was like in the zone. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, okay, let me prep this session right now. We got to get this stuff recording, get it ready. And she was just holding the mic, no pop filter. It was like Billie Eilish style. She was just singing into the mic. Yeah, just very raw, you know, just like curled up in a chair next to me, sitting Indian style. You know, I was in the producer chair, and she's sitting just here to my left. Wow. Just, you know, sitting cross-legged, and just like, you know, really leaning into the mic, just clutching it to her chest. It was a beautiful moment. Wow. And it was because we could both really, truly relate to that experience. yeah, and that's the rest is history.
Yeah. And that was this year that you guys recorded that track?
We did that in February.
Wow.
I went to England in March, sat on the tune. I came back from England extremely inspired. So April, I produced out the song. And it got signed to Nervous Records in June.
That's something that I'm very interested in and also not super familiar with, because in the EDM world, it's pretty common, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's pretty common for record labels to sign like on a track by track basis.
Yes.
Interesting. Because for like, I come from more of like that indie folk kind of background. And I feel like for a lot of artists in that arena, what they're looking for is like an album or like multi-album kind of record deal. So is this your first time that you've had a track released through a record label? Have you done that before?
I have released on a label. I released on Space Yacht Records as part of a compilation.
Nice.
So it's I would consider Nervous Records to be my debut. They're like, this is Wes Pierce. This is his single. They're essentially, I've released on another label, but it was a compilation. But this was like the first time a label was like, hey, this is our new artist. Like, this is his single. This is Nervous Records.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what did they do in terms of pushing that song? Because essentially you've already produced it. You've made the track.
Yeah.
So it's not like they needed to like front money to make the track because it's already been made.
Yeah. Actually, they invested in it.
Oh, wow.
They did they mixed it down. They did the mix down. We had a mix down. They wanted to do one as well. They just wanted what was best for the song.
That's cool.
So, I mean, they signed it when it was a demo.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, they just connected with it immediately. They loved it. I mean, it happened so quickly. They signed it as a demo, and they told me I could keep working on it. They're like, hey, we trust you. We love the music that you have out right now. That's just your independent releases. Like, feel free to do whatever you need to do. And we will handle the mixing and mastering on our end. And so, I mean, they paid their engineers to, do that. And then when it came time for release, we did like a video short.
Oh, sweet.
It came out lovely. The tune is very retro. It's like a very 90s, very classic, very classic house. Simpler times, I specifically used only sounds from a 90s sample CD.
Oh, cool.
So before, we could go on Splice and use, these online sources for samples and that, back in the day, you used to go to Guitar Center and buy these sample CDs.
I didn't even know that. It was like license free, like CDs. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I had no idea
you
about
dig
that.
through library. It's kind of like digging through records, finding a record. Yeah, so you dig through these sample CDs, house classic vocals or
That's really
like
cool.
deep cuts and you could sometimes preview them or whatever. Honestly, that was before my time. But I had found a collection of 90 sample CDs, specifically that were heavily used in like classic house and garage.
That's sick.
And so I produced that record strictly with that stuff as an ode to simpler times. And then Chandler's vocal is just kind of what gave it that like modern edge, it made it unique in that with this like more modern, I guess, top line. Just over this like very 90s. It's like future nostalgia, like the mixing of like generations in a way.
What DAW are you working in on the track?
That was
just generally speaking.
Yeah, Ableton for that. I recorded her in Ableton. Now I record everything in Pro Tools, but I produced that all in Ableton.
Even when you're doing the production of a song, you're working in Pro Tools, not Ableton?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. No. I record in
okay, so if you're recording like live
anything,
like instrumentation, vocals, you're using Pro Tools?
Yes, I record all my synthesizers, I record my guitars,
okay.
all instrumentation and vocals I do in Pro Tools, and then I'll stem it, and then I produce in Ableton.
Nice.
And then I will go back to Pro Tools and do my mixes in Pro Tools now.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I get that process. I've demoed before a ton in Ableton, and it's always funny. Like recording vocals in Ableton just feels
Don't get me started.
wrong.
Don't get me started on it. That's why I'm in. I recorded Chandler for Feel for Once in Ableton, but the next time I record her, it will be in Pro Tools.
Yeah, I love Ableton though. Like the format of, I think, in terms of like composition and trying to like just looking at things more of like in block form,
Yeah,
like on a perfect grid, is a lot of fun.
it's nice. Yeah, definitely. Ableton is just so geared for creativity.
Yeah. It makes it easy to play with a song and to chop it up and to rearrange it.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a push too. Like it's so much fun.
I used to use the push a lot. I actually gifted it to a friend recently.
Oh, wow. Why did you feel like you were ready to let it go?
I'm doing everything outside of the box. So I have a studio now that I share with my best friend.
Nice.
His name is Hans Glader. I really owe a lot to him in music. He kind of found me. I found him, and then he found me, and then we found each other, and then we made music together, and then he just started kind of like putting me on a little bit, and he's a very special person in my life. But we have a studio together, and between the two of us, we have a collection of synthesizers.
Oh, sick.
So I do everything outside of the box.
Okay.
I like to, I love to play my keys and play my guitar. And
did you grow up playing piano and guitar?
Not piano, guitar. Yes, I've been playing guitar my entire life.
Wow.
So that's my first instrument. Started playing bass, and then I play a little bit of drums. But I'm not very good on drums. But yeah, definitely well-rounded. I feel very comfortable on pretty much any instrument, and unless you get into like orchestral things.
Yeah. Did you have parents who played, or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. My father and my uncle are both guitarists. Same with my grandfather.
I'm right with you there, man.
Yeah, guitarist family.
Yep.
Not only I'm a third-generation guitarist, and I'm a third-generation war veteran. All of the Navy as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this is a perfect segue, and I think it's kind of cool to think about it in terms of like a generational attribute. So maybe let's start with your grandfather. What did he do in the Navy?
My grandfather was a CB in World War II. He went to Guadalcanal with 1st Marine Division.
Wow.
So the first MARDIV took Guadalcanal, and then he followed them in and built all the bases and stuff on the airfield that they initially took.
Wow. And the CB, was that a precursor to the Navy SEAL?
No, the CBs are still, it's the same. The CBs are they're construction workers.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But at that time, it was just you were wearing a lot of hats. Like my grandfather has 4 Bronze Stars, 2 of them with Valor, Purple Hearts. He's been mortared and shot at, and he's a hero.
You said he was in World War II?
World War II, Guadalcanal, yeah.
Okay, so
Pacific campaign.
He must be in his late 90s?
He's not alive anymore.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
No worries. But yeah.
There's not too many World War II veterans alive.
For sure.
Which I don't know.
I know it's sad. Yeah, it's.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Oh shit, dude, you look young, man.
I get that a lot.
I was like, maybe we're the same age. I'm 29.
Right on.
What I was gonna say is like, we're basic. It's very similar. Growing up, it was super commonplace to have like people's grandparents who were World War II veterans like come to school and like talk about it. And it's kind of strange that that's not really as much of a thing anymore, because a lot of those people they're not alive anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, like my grandfather is he wasn't even old enough to be in World War II, and he's in his mid-ish 90s.
Yeah.
So I guess like to have been alive, you basically have to be like 100.
Yeah. There's very few left.
It's a weird thing to think about, that this new generation is no longer going to have like a first-hand account.
I know.
An in-person first-hand account.
Yeah.
of that reality that faced the world.
I know. They're going to have to read it in textbooks, see it in videos, watch it in movies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very bizarre.
Very bizarre.
So grandfather, World War II.
Yeah.
Father, what did he do in the Navy?
Yeah, absolute legend, my grandfather. And then my father, he was a radioman in the Navy. So he was on the ship, just a classic ship guy, but Vietnam era.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he had an interesting time. I mean, his ship was the craziest story he told me about his time in the Navy is his ship was locked on by a guided missile for 2 days. So yeah, it was imminent. You know, they were in they call it battle stations. So everyone had manned their battle stations, you know, preparing. And 48 hours. He said that was one of the most humbling experiences of his life. It made him a man, you know, because he was 21 at the time. Damn. Just about to get out. You know, he was like, you know, he was like, I'm supposed to get out in 6 months, and here we are. This is my last deployment, you know, tail end of Vietnam, and yeah, it's not looking good for me here, you know, battle stations.
Wow.
Yeah, he got, I mean, both my father and my grandfather, you know, they did their time. My grandfather became a lawyer after he went back to college. Excuse me. He went back to school. Obviously, you know, used his the benefits and went to law school, got his degree, and yeah, my father became a chiropractor after and started his own practice in San Diego that he did for 20 years.
Wow.
Retired. Now he just does whatever he wants. But yeah, both of them musicians, play guitar. Wow. Just for fun, you know. Yeah, they just love playing guitar, but they're incredible. Like, I'm actually one of my songs, I'm putting out a song next year that is one that my uncle wrote.
Oh, no way.
He was 16 years old. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he wrote this song in like 1972. Yeah.
That's epic.
On guitar, never recorded or anything. But he has done a lot. My uncle has been the one that's done a lot in music. I mean, he's been around some big names, like, I don't know if you know, like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Yeah, he's incredible songwriter, incredible guitarist. He was kind of like the one, you know, in the family that really had the most success with music. And to be fair, he spent a lot of time with my grandmother, with his mother, who is a classically trained pianist. You know, loads of music theory knowledge. She was a savant on any instrument. I mean, she was an incredible woman. And so he spent a lot of time with her, and I think that's why, you know, he didn't join the military path. Like, you know what?
Interesting.
Yeah, he was 1 year apart from my father. So when my dad was, you know, in Vietnam, my uncle was draft dodging in college. Literally, yeah, my father got drafted. My uncle did not, because he was like, oh shit, I got to join college. I got to get into college. So he dodged. He went right into college, and then during that time he was just really working with my grandmother, and she was, you know, mentoring him, and she had done a lot in music as well in the past, songwriting specifically, and she had played with some, like, you know, she played piano, classical piano, so she had been in some like ensembles and stuff. But yeah, he really dove into music, my uncle, before becoming an entertainer.
Okay.
Juggling machetes and torches and basketballs.
Wow.
Yeah, I come from a pretty interesting family. Yeah, definitely. A lot of multi-talented artists, creatives, weirdos, but also we had all served, you know, except for my uncle, but you know, yeah, it's a pretty eclectic bunch, I'd say.
So what went into your decision to join the Navy? Was it the fact that you had that lineage?
No.
Were there some other factors? What was going on?
No. There was actually none of that. Yeah, my father was not interested in me joining the Navy. He didn't think I needed that at all. He didn't want me to do it. I joined I mean, yeah, I had a friend who was killed on his first deployment, a childhood friend.
Wow.
Yeah, from elementary school. We went way back. But he was killed by a suicide bomber
Jesus.
in Afghanistan in Kandahar province less than a month before he was supposed to come home.
Wow.
Yeah, his death anniversary was actually just earlier this month. It was December 10th.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in 2011. Yeah, so that I'm sorry, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was kind of the driving factor for joining, and then yeah, the rest is history.
Did you want to do it kind of like out of respect for him, or like in his honor, like in his place? What was
It was like
surrounding
a combination of things. Yeah, that was like a big motivational factor for me, but I also felt like I wanted to blow shit up and jump out of airplanes and fucking shoot guns. There was something in me. I mean,
Yeah.
growing up, I was like a punk, dude. I came up in punk and metal.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I fucking loved, like, dude, I grew up on like Black Flag, Circle Jerks, DOA, Dead Kennedys, a lot of that LA punk, but also a lot of the UK punk, like Conflict and Crass. You know, I used to fucking hate the Sex Pistols, man. Absolute, yeah, tossers, dude. They were fake punk, man. But Conflict and Crass were like, oh man, Discharge. Yeah, just I grew up on all that stuff. And so yeah, I don't know. I guess I was kind of angsty kid in a way for no particular reason.
Yeah.
I had a great upbringing, you know, great family life. But I just was always drawn to the a little bit more aggressive, darker music growing up.
Was there much of a punk scene in San Diego?
Yeah.
Really?
Really good punk scene in San Diego.
Interesting.
100%. Yeah. Excellent punk scene. I mean, excellent metal scene. So, I mean, yeah, I started with punk and I quickly evolved into metal. And in metal, we had like Cattle Decap. We had Condemned, which is, I eventually joined Condemned and toured Europe and
No way.
Japan with them.
That was after the military.
Before
the military.
Yeah. So
No
I did
way.
all
What
this.
did you do with them? What did you play?
Guitar.
No way.
Yeah, guitar. So yeah, right out of high school, I actually dropped out of high school to tour Europe with
Holy shit.
with Condemned. Yeah, my dad fully supportive. That's why he was like, dude, don't join the fucking Navy. Like, you're shredding. Like, bro, you're out there like touring Europe. Like, I was sending him pictures from like Switzerland and like playing shows in Zurich and Cersei.
How old were you at the time?
18.
18. So you had like just dropped out. Like you could, basically were on the cusp of graduating.
Yeah, I had 2 credits left.
Wow.
They let me come back, and I had to write a letter to like the school board, like the San Diego Unified School District. I had to write a letter.
No way.
But they took me back because I had, you know, an incredible track record. You know, I had showed them, you know, all the tour dates, everything. You know, I was like, yeah, this is, you know, this was a job opportunity, and that was the main thing.
Yeah.
You know, because all I needed to do was finish 2 credits and do my senior project, which the senior project is like, what are you going to do with your life? I'm like, well, I'm already doing my life. So they were like, okay, yeah, great. You can come back, finish your last 2 credits in a charter school, not in a regular high school.
Wow.
So I was able to still get my diploma out of, a charter school, which is the same equivalent.
Yeah. Were you 19?
Yeah, when I finished my diploma, yeah.
Super senior.
Yeah, I was like a 5th year of high school.
That's so funny though. That's incredible, man. So how long were you in that band for?
Oh, I did it from 17 to 19, 2 years.
Okay.
2 years, yeah.
Did you guys ever do Warped Tour at all, or?
No, didn't do Warped Tour.
Okay.
No, we did, there's another one. It was on the heavier side.
A festival?
Yeah. It wasn't Warped Tour. It was, I mean, Guar played it. Like, we opened up for like Guar and Avenged Sevenfold.
Damn.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it ran for like maybe 3 years. It was like Warped Tour on steroids. They did it for just a few years.
Dang.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the only like metal oriented festival that I knew of at the time.
Yeah, a little bit more punk and like pop punk oriented, and then this other one came out. Oh, Summer Slaughter.
Okay, yeah,
Summer
sounds
Slaughter.
like a metal festival for sure.
It was run by the same group, Summer
Sick.
Slaughter. Yeah, so they did 3 years of Summer Slaughter. We played one of them, opened up for Guar, In Flames, a set Avenged Sevenfold.
Damn.
Yeah, really cool stuff. I mean, we also played with them in like the Netherlands. Yeah, I mean, we played Neurotic Death Fest in Tilburg with Avenged Sevenfold, In Flames, Dying Fetus, Suffocation,
Wow.
Cannibal Corpse,
Did you get to hang out with any of the guys from Avenged Sevenfold?
all of them. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Was that before or after the Rev died?
Oh, before. This was before. This was in
No
2009.
way. So you were hanging out with the Rev before he died?
This was in 2008, 2009.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What was he like? What was the Rev like?
Honestly, I mean, I was pretty hammered a lot of those times. Those guys are sweethearts, man. I mean, we just were hanging out in the green room and just having beers and chatting.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, I mean, yeah, just it's kind of a trip. Same with Mitch from Suicide Silence. I don't know if you know who Suicide Silence is, but Mitch.
I think I know of the name, but
yeah, legendary hardcore band. He died in a motorcycle accident, but he used to hang out with Mitch all the time back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing significant I can tell you about in any of those conversations other than we were just hanging out, just the boys backstage,
For sure.
drinking beers. Yeah.
I remember that there was that one song that came out around the time that the Rev died. It was the piano song. I can't remember what it's called.
I remember it.
It's like dun 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 dun.
I can't tell you the name of it. I just remember that specific little era.
But wasn't that song about? I think he wrote it about his own death, right?
Dude, yes.
Because I remember when it came out,
it was like a
just,
predilection.
really heavy.
Yeah, or a premonition. It was like a premonition. Yeah.
So crazy.
Really gnarly, dude. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, heartbreaking, really.
Yeah, it's fascinating and heartbreaking that in the world of music, like, it is just marked up with so many tragic losses in that community.
I mean, yeah, the 27 Club speaks volumes.
Totally. Well, and it feels like nowadays it's almost like the 21 Club. Like, there's so many, especially in the world of hip hop, there's so many young artists who Lil Peep, X,
yeah.
I feel like there's probably other ones that I'm just not even thinking of. In particular, I really love Lil Peep and X.
Same. Peep was dear to my heart, dude. I still listen to Star Shopping once a month.
Yeah.
Since it's been years. It's been years.
Did you ever get to see him perform?
I didn't. No.
It's wild to me because, like, and I don't really know this for sure, but I feel like he was in this neighborhood, like in this area. That's the sense that I always got when I came to downtown, was like, I feel like when he was alive, like, a lot of things were happening like in this area. And I know that there's a guy who you actually might know. Do you know the guy who does Ham on Everything, the After Hours?
What is it?
Ham on Everything is the name of the Instagram. They do it after. This guy named Adam, he's been doing After Hours for like over 10 years. And now, like, he's in the documentary about Lil Peep. He knew him. And he's here in this neighborhood.
The Netflix documentary?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. And there's some other people that I know of who are also, like, in this neighborhood, who were, like, involved in that scene with him.
Yeah, I know they had the spot here in, like, the fashion district or something, where they're all trapping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had their studio. It's just a big, wide open studio space. And
it's wild.
Yeah, I know. It was all going, just right down the street here. It was literally in the fashion district. They had that warehouse, just a wide open, like, studio format, kind of like this place.
Yeah.
And they had the studio set up, but then just mattresses and shit. They were hard trapping,
Damn.
I mean, they were real ones, man. Real ones, dude. Peep was, like, as real as it gets, man. His music, I cried many times listening to Peep. 16 Lines, Star Shopping.
Yeah.
I mean... Man,
that track is insane, man. 16 lines of coke and I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. It just it takes me to a dark place, but it's also, like, very cathartic listening to that. Yeah, it's something that's been on my mind. I've been wanting to, like, make some edits. Make some edits to play in the club. I just don't know that it would be fitting. But it's just something that I'd want to do, just to work on, anything. His voice is just, the way he sings. It's like he was such like a tortured soul, but also so much of an optimist at the same time.
There's this one song that he has, and I'm so bad with song names. I just gotta like pull up his Spotify to remember it.
Save that shit, man. That's the one I want to
Save
make.
that shit's incredible,
dude.
There was one that came out off. I think it was like a postmortem record. It must have been. I think he has had more music come out postmortem.
He has, tons,
which is very fascinating.
It's great for his mother, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. His mother is able to, bless her soul. Oh yeah, Come Over When You're Sober. Yep, part 2.
Sex With My Ex is great. What's the song that is like, it's, oh my goodness.
Probably part 1. This is my album right here.
Oh, Life is Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs.
A lot of people love this song. Look at that. Look at those streams, man.
Yeah.
This is the thing. He was just recording raw in the bedroom, man.
Yeah.
And like people put so much weight on the quality of music and how it sounds and that. And like, dude, Star Shopping sounds like it was recording a fucking tin can. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song and it speaks to your soul.
That's
all that matters.
There's something really fascinating about that. And I think that there's also something culturally significant. We're at this, like, everything is very cyclical, I feel like, whether it's fashion, whether it's like styles and cinematography or music. And like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I feel like we're just so, like, music kept on getting more and more and more polished.
Yeah.
So polished.
And it's continuing.
So dialed in. And it is continuing. But at the same time, stuff that was less, like lo-fi, started becoming really popular.
It's like intentionally raw.
Yeah. And like bedroom pop. And then like the stuff that Lil Peep was doing. And then just recently, like only a few months ago, there was that dude, I can't remember his name. He's like the ginger guy. He's like playing guitar out in the woods and he's singing about like, being like a broke middle class dude. And that song just like blew up. But he recorded that track on his Samsung. He just recorded it right on his phone and uploaded that track to Spotify, apparently. And so I feel like there is an authenticity that people connect with when something is just raw and intact.
We want that more now because of exactly what you're saying of cyclic trends. Mm-hmm. We've heard everything polished and beautiful and perfect, so good that it doesn't sound real. Yeah. Or it's like it's so perfect it doesn't even sound like, how is it possible? Yeah. And now we're just comfortable listening to some shit that was recorded on an iPhone speaker because you can feel it. You can really feel it, and that's what matters most. Yeah.
Backtracking a little bit, after your tour with that band, the band was called
Condemned.
Yeah. What did you do after that? Did you immediately join the Navy?
Yeah, I did. Essentially, I had worked on another band, Abhorrent. Mm-hmm. Incredibly talented. It's very technical death metal, like math rock.
Sick.
Very, very technical. A lot of jazz, very, a lot of eclectic time signatures and syncopated rhythms, but it's death metal. Yeah. It's heavy, aggressive. I had worked on a record with them, and during that time was when I took the leap and enlisted, and then went on my 9-year side quest.
Wow. So were you 21 at the time?
I joined right at 22, but I enlisted at 21. I signed away at 21.
Joined the Navy. What was your, is it called an MOS in the Navy?
It's called a rate.
Oh, a rate. So what was your rate going into the Navy?
So I went in, and I wanted, to be an EOD tech, and I didn't make it through my first time.
Why EOD though? Like going in, why did you want to do that?
Well, Kenny was killed by a suicide bomber. So, that was like a motivation. That was kind of like, I just like looked into jobs I was like, I'm gonna enlist. And at first I was like, oh, I want to be a shooter. I want to shoot these motherfuckers that did that to Kenny.
Yeah.
But then I found EOD, and it was more about like preserving life and like
dismantling bombs. I mean,
it's technically a support role. It is. It's a support role, but it's one of the most unique ones because it's not. There's no other support role that's not pulling the trigger where you're like standing over something that could just completely consume your body, obliterate you and the people around you. But that seemed to be the most fitting for me. So
wow.
I enlisted and I went in and then I quit. And then I went to the regular Navy. Went to a ship, undesignated, which means I had no job designation, no training, nothing. They just sent you out there.
Whoa.
And every month you would see a career counselor and they would essentially say, hey, these are your jobs that are available, choose one. And then if you get selected, you'll just go work in that work center and get on the job training, but you will be rated as that job. And then you can rank up,
Yeah.
But I chose to stay undesignated because it was easier for me to get back to EOD to reapply.
Wow. How long were you in that period of being undesignated?
Almost 2 years.
Dang. 2 years and you had no specific job?
No specific job. I was like sweeping floors and chipping paint and,
And you were just on a ship that whole time?
Yeah. It was like the darkest time of my life.
Holy shit.
And that was when I started making music again.
Really? In the Navy?
Yeah. That was when I started, I picked up my guitar, started writing some songs, just indie tunes.
Were you regretting your decision to join at that period of time?
Yeah, I went through a whole ego death because I was like, I'm going to go do this thing. I'm going to avenge my fucking, my childhood friend. I'm like, I was on this hero's journey.
Yeah.
And then, it was the hero's journey, because in the hero's journey, he will experience like that ego death at some point.
Wow.
So that was that time for me. But yeah, I reapplied and I went back and then I made it through.
Damn.
And
how long is that training process to be EOD?
It's 2 years.
Wow.
It's a long one. Yeah. I mean, you do everything. You start with selection, you go to dive school, then you go to EOD training, which you learn how to dismantle ground ordnance, which is grenades, rockets, projectiles. Then you go into air ordnance, which is like bombs, guided missiles, and dispensers, which dispensers are just big canisters that release payloads of like scatterable mines.
Holy shit.
And then after air division, you go into IEDs, where you're putting on the bomb suit and you're learning to dismantle various types of IEDs.
Yeah. How heavy are those suits?
So heavy. Yeah, you lose like magnificent IQ in that suit. I mean, you just, you don't have motor function, you're sweating in that thing. It's, it's bulky. You don't have good field of vision.
Yeah. My point of reference for those is Hurt Locker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like, it just looks like the most uncomfortable thing
in
the world.
Yeah.
But also
terrible.
too, like, you're probably incredibly grateful for that thing shielding you, but also at the same time, how much does it do?
It's so the way it works in EOD is you're able to if you can justify not working in the suit, then you don't have to wear it. But by doctrine, by written rule, you have to wear the suit on your initial approach.
Whoa.
So initial approach, you're going down in the bomb suit. When you come back, you're going to say, hey, this thing, you make up some fucking bullshit. As an EOD tech, you're running it. Like, no one's going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, because no one else is going to go out there.
If you have justification, you say, hey, I'm taking off the suit because I don't have the mobility to work on this device.
Yeah.
And so, you get the fucking suit off after your initial approach.
Wow.
No one works in that suit because, dude, if it's your time, it's your time. That's kind of the mentality.
Is there a motto amongst like the EOD, like, I don't know.
It used to be initial success or total failure, but they stopped saying that because it was hurtful for the families that had lost their loved ones.
Wow.
Total failure is not a great way to remember somebody that you lost, So they changed that. But, back then it was a little bit more down and dirty and fancy free and rough, and we were just it's gritty, it's warrior culture, it's initial success or total fucking failure. We're here to do this shit.
Yeah.
But it's not good for the families that had lost loved ones.
Yeah.
They don't want to think about them as total failure. So they had to scrap that mantra, but that's still very much part of the culture.
What was the hardest part about the training?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it was, I'd say EOD training. Can I smoke cigarettes in here? Probably not, huh?
Nah.
Okay,
I mean,
no
it would look sick on camera, but no. But there's a sick. After this, I'll take you to there's a really sick view from the fire escape.
Okay, cool.
It's worth the wait.
Okay,
it's worth the wait.
Right on.
Yeah.
Sounds good. But yeah, you have to get to EOD school at 5 a.m. Be there at 5 a.m. and you have 2 hours of study time. Everything's classified material.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to get there at 5 a.m. It's obviously pitch black. Training doesn't start till 7 a.m. So you have 2 hours of study hall in the beginning of the day, and then 2 hours of study hall at the end of the day. So it's 5 to 5. Class ends at 3, training ends at 3, and then you have 2 hours of study hall. So, it's just a grind, mental grind. You're learning about how every type of grenade, rocket, projectile, guided missile, fucking IED, you name it, chem bio, nuclear weapons. It's a progression that you go through. They split them up in divisions. But, every morning you're in there just in the books.
Wow.
You can't take drugs. You're in the Navy, Most people, they're like, oh, just take Adderall. No. No.
Yeah, you got to do it all natural.
All natural.
Pure caffeine.
Yeah, a lot of coffee, a lot of Monster Energy.
Jeez.
But
what's the attrition rate?
So, this will give you a great perspective. I started my selection with 40 guys. That's the max amount.
Mm-hmm.
We finished selection with 15. Out of the 15 of us that were selected, only 5 of us became EOD techs.
Wow.
And 2 of us were repeats.
So after that training...
Actually, I'm sorry, 3 of us were repeats.
Wow.
So there's only 2 guys that made it straight through.
Wow.
All the way from boot camp.
And when you say selected...
Yeah.
Does that mean you're selected to go to another school?
To just start training.
Wow. And then how long is that next training period?
22 months.
Damn, so it's like a 4-year process just before...
Or 2 years, whatever 2 years. It's that the selection is 1 month, and then you have...
Oh, okay, I see.
Then the remaining, yeah.
Okay, so the total training is 2 years, but the selection is... Okay,
1
got
month.
it.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
So when you finish your training, what kind of unit did you get put in with?
I went to Mobile Unit 11, which is in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started making music, man.
Huh.
Yeah, but I did 2.5 deployments out of Mobile Unit 11.
I mean, that's pretty convenient considering the fact you're from San Diego. And
yeah, it was the dream.
It was
in
the San Diego.
Well, my home base was in San Diego, but my deployments were all to the Middle East.
Oh, your deployments were there.
Yeah, my unit was at Mobile Unit 11 in San Diego, and then we would deploy. Our AOR was the Middle East.
Wow.
So yeah.
Did you ever deploy to Afghanistan?
No Afghanistan. That wasn't our FTN anymore. By the time I got in, only the Army was in Afghanistan. We were doing Iraq, and Syria, Yemen, Somalia.
Like off the coast of Yemen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the proxy, the Houthis.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on there right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Some wild stuff.
We used to talk about Yemen. It's like Mad Max, but with IEDs.
Jeez.
Just the crazy openness, but then there's just IEDs and shit.
Yeah.
The Houthis were shitty fighters anyways. They get shit on, but that was a big part of our battle at that time. Syria was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
The whole push into Syria, that was our unit. We did a lot in Syria.
Wow.
And then
So were you in Syria during the time that there was like a pretty big, I guess like mobilization against ISIS?
that was 2017. Yes.
So, wow.
Yes. That was when Kenton Stacy got hurt. A good friend of mine. He ended up becoming paralyzed from the neck down.
Damn.
He's got a family. It was a rough one. That was a really rough one. I spent a week in the hospital with him when we came home from deployment, and I was literally just, he was sleeping all day, and I was just sitting next to him making music all day.
Wow.
Yeah, that whole time till he'd
Dang.
wake up, and then we watch. What is that, like Asian show where they do the obstacle courses, MXX or something?
MXC?
MXC, yeah.
Dude.
We love watching MXC.
I don't know a whole lot of other people who know about MXC. MXC is incredible. I grew up watching that stuff.
Yeah, me and Ken would stay up late because he for whatever, he'd sleep all day, and he had like some physical therapy and training, and so he'd be exhausted and sleep basically all day, but then he'd wake up at night and we watch MXC and then like motocross. He'd love watching motocross, yeah.
Wow. How long were those deployments? Were they pretty long?
6 months.
6 months, so
Yeah.
actually relatively quick.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah.
Wow. And when as an EOD, like you're in there like disarming bombs.
I mean, it's not like all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah. It's just we were a mobility team, so just whenever you get a call, this kind of thing, like response, like you get a mission or whatever, something will come down the pipeline, and
Wow.
you'll just respond accordingly.
What was that moment like the first time that you actually like disarmed a bomb for real?
Oh, I never actually disarmed anything.
Oh, really?
I would just blow them up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just throw a charge on it.
Sweet.
Just get rid of it.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds way more fun.
It's safer. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. So even with a robot, yeah, as well.
Wow. So would you actually like control robots?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I drove the
Crazy.
Talon and the Packbot, 2 different robots we had.
Dang.
I loved driving them both. Playing video games, my life. They're Xbox controllers, so
Yeah, you were prepared.
easy to operate. Yeah.
Dang, man. So after those experiences, and I don't know how much you could talk about those experiences. Did you suffer like any kind of PTSD coming back or like was it hard to readjust?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went through all. Then that's where the music really started to kick in. It was therapeutic for me. It was cathartic making music again. That's when I started picking up my guitar again. I got Ableton. I started playing piano and writing music, and at the time I just had loved. Honestly, I grew up on a lot of like Elenium and like Seven Lions, stuff that was like very emotive and melancholic, because that at the time was really cathartic to me. That was like kind of what was speaking to my soul. And also a lot of like angry bass music. It was like this cross between the two, 'cause sometimes I was extremely, so sad, but at the same time angry. So that kind of was my outlet. And it was literally that. A bit of the trauma is what got me to start producing regularly. And it was like very cathartic experience being able to just let it all out, make music.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's powerful to have some kind of an outlet to be able to channel that energy. There was somebody I brought on this podcast who he actually deployed in the Marine Corps to Fallujah.
Oh wow, yeah.
And
so
I think
like
that he was
late
early 2000s.
Yeah,
I think he was there
4 or 5 or 4 to 6.
I think it was like 4, 5, 6, something like that.
Yeah,
And so
that was one of the most brutal wars of the time. I mean, Fallujah was hell on earth, man.
Yeah.
Chechen fighters on fucking all kinds of meth. I mean, those dudes were taking crazy amounts of bullets, and just they were like zombies, bro, living dead. I mean, I've heard. I mean, all of my leaders, all of my, my, for example, my chief, my first platoon served in Fallujah at that time.
Yeah.
A lot of my senior leadership that were leading me on these deployments were all Fallujah guys. And so we knew very much about what happened in Fallujah and the history there.
Yeah. Yeah, the stories that he had were pretty wild. I mean, just him talking about like there was a point at which he he would like people would be like there would be like a mortar attack or something, and people would be like, you gotta like get to the bunker or do this and that, and he was like, I need to sleep, like I don't even care at this point, like because he was just so drained. You know, like sleeping with a gun under his pillow, and just like there was a point at which he just no longer even was like, I can't even function anymore, like I have to just try to get some sleep, I don't even care.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Did you ever come in contact with Jocko at any point in time?
Jocko, no. Yeah, I know,
but
Jocko.
You know Jocko.
Of course, everyone knows Jocko.
Yeah.
Very outspoken guy.
For sure. What do you think, you know, just like in retrospect, because the military, you said, was the majority of your adult life.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's been all of my adult life until now.
Well, yeah. When did you actually get out of the military?
At 31. So it's been 3 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I spent 9 years in, and yeah, but 4 years out. So I need another 5 years, 6 years to break even on my.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the biggest takeaways from that experience?
I was truly humbled. Yeah. You know, I experienced an ego death at one point. Yeah, it gave me the wisdom to navigate like this life with music as well. You know, I'm a very resilient person. And I feel like I have the discipline to not get wrapped into kind of, you know, some of the stuff we see in the music world, like in the actor's life and the drug use and, you know, just, some of this toxic behavior that's kind of plaguing music, just as it always has been, to be fair. But yeah, it gave me that. It gave me like, yeah, you know, I know what I want. I know who I am, and I know that I have the discipline to, you know, just do this and not let things affect me, external factors, you know. I'm on my own path and like very resilient to like, you know, the outside factors, you know, that just music can kind of bring with, you know, like just we're talking about. But yeah.
What led to the decision to leave the military?
Oh, I was just done, man. Too many dead friends, too many people, seeing people hurt. Yeah. Yeah. I lost too many friends, and that was it. I was done. It's just heartbreaking, man. Couldn't do it anymore. But I wanted to do music too, to be fair, because I started producing when I was in, and I was like, I need to get out of here, you know? And then even during that time, I was losing more friends, you know? And so it was just like, oh, I gotta go, I gotta get out.
Wow. When did you start DJing?
It's been not even 2 years. I started DJing, like, I was making music and producing first, and then I learned to DJ when people were like, hey, do you want to play? And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, you know, I do have these tunes, like, you know, that people are playing, and I should probably, so I just learned it, you know, it came after production. Yeah. It was kind of one, you know, a lot of people, everyone's on a different path. You know, some people start off DJing and then learn to produce. But yeah, I started off making music first and then DJing after. So yeah. I mean, I've been producing music for like 6 years, and then, you know, I just almost 2 years now that I've been DJing proper, but yeah.
When you first left the military, was there kind of like a gap period of like, okay, what does life look like now? Or did you?
I went straight to Icon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was on
lined it up.
I was on like terminal leave when I went to Icon. Yeah, I was still technically active duty, like my first quarter of Icon Collective, like my first like 3 months of school, I was still active duty.
Interesting. How does that work?
I just had accumulated vacation days.
Oh, I see. And we're back.
All right.
After our extended little intermission. That transition from going to the military into music school, and then as a DJ, producer, musician, you feel like it was a pretty natural transition, or was it like a pretty big adjustment for you?
No, it was so natural. I truly felt it was meant to be. Yeah, just based on my experiences leading up to me getting out and going into music, I had a story to tell for sure. I poured my emotion into my music, and so it was like, it felt so natural to me, that I was able to just express myself and kind of just tell speak my truth through my music. It was honestly fairly seamless.
Yeah. You started DJing at, we were just talking about this, at After Hours.
Yeah.
How did you get into that world here in LA?
So, I started going to Space Yacht, and then the official kind of like afters of Space Yacht was like Blind Tiger. And so I started going to Blind Tiger quite a bit, and just kind of connecting with a lot of people there. A lot of great people at Blind Tiger. It's very family oriented afters. It's truly the best afters community, in my opinion, in LA. It's a family, and everyone's very much looking out for each other there. I always feel at home there.
Is it here downtown LA?
Yeah. It's on
Nice.
the Lexington Bar is what it's called. The Lexington Bar. It's on East 3rd Street. Not
Dude,
far from here.
I think I've been there, but like way back in the day. Wait a minute. Is there like an area in the back, like you walk through and then there's like a back outdoor area that kind of looks like I don't know, almost like a junkyard or like a garage or like
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dude, I went there like before COVID. I don't think I've been there since COVID. And they do an after hours there.
I'll have to bring you.
Dude, absolutely. I would love that, man. You were talking just now offline that there's a big difference in the after hours scene between places that have like a lot of dark energy and places that are, more family friendly, more, I guess, positive vibes. What has been your experiences between those two, venues?
I mean, yeah, I've definitely been to some afters where it's borderline hedonistic, just get kind of dark and self-indulgent, too self-indulgent for me, where people are just focusing on pleasures and experiences rather than the music. And so that's not for me. Blind Tiger is definitely more of just like, it's a lot of friends and family. We're there for the music. We're there to support each other. And, a lot of us are just kind of nocturnal creatures by nature. We stay up all night making music and we sleep all day. And so when we go out, we usually like to stay out late. And Blind Tiger is the kind of place where you pull up and, hey, do you want to hop on the decks later tonight? Like, sure, yeah, I'd love to.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just have your USB
always, yeah,
ready
it's
to
on
go.
my keychain, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's very much like, it's such a good vibe. Everyone just will hop on and play, and there's definitely drug use. There's plenty of that, but it's a safe place. Yeah, I mean, no one's ever like overdosed or been taken advantage of, or there's nothing, there's been no malicious behavior, I can say in full confidence there, because of the way the community is. Everyone is very much looking out for each other. They don't want any of that kind of stuff going on there. It's people are going to do drugs no matter what. People are going to, take substances and want to party, and you can't really stop that.
Yeah.
So, but Blind Tiger has a way of, keeping it a safe place. It's about the music no matter what. It's about the music and the community and the culture. And yeah, people are going to do drugs, but it's going to be done safely, and you'll never see an ambulance or the cops pull up to Blind Tiger because of something like that. Like it's that's just not something that happens because of just the whole vibe, the whole community of the place, and the attitude really Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting thing about EDM is I feel like it branches off in like two drastically, maybe three, or maybe like a multitude of different directions, because in the world of EDM and like dance music and house music, on the one hand, I feel like you have people who are very much like there's like the desert rave kind of scene
Mm-hmm.
that's maybe more a little bit like kind of hippie and
Yeah.
tropical vibes, or like organic house music. I remember I met this dude out in the desert once, this old guy named Jersey, this Polish man, big white beard, looked like Santa. And he was telling me that he spins organic house music.
Mm.
And you have like this kind of hippie, like fire dancing, Burning Man kind of scene. That's also very positive too. Like I feel like there's a lot of like spirituality around that, and meditation, and like potentially like positive like psychedelic use as well.
Absolutely.
You know, then on the other hand, you have this like gritty, darker warehouse underground scene. I feel like that's very common, like downtown LA in the warehouse district. That's
100%.
like integrated with like fashion, but also, you know, associated with a lot of like, you know, drug use and then maybe more of like something in between, like positive spaces where it's people who are just coming to enjoy the music.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
Yeah, it's not black and white. Yeah, I mean, you'll have all of that. At least at the afters that I attend, you will have all of that. I mean, Blind Tiger, for example, will do just like vinyl nights. You know, where it's just and live music.
Yeah.
Instrumentation and vinyl, and it's like more, you know, like this wholesome experience. And of course people are eating mushrooms and you know, yeah, but and you know, and taking drugs and that, but it's still, yeah, like a good wholesome environment to be in if that's what you want, if you want to be immersed in the music and like feel it and have like kind of the spiritual connection to the music, like you will find that in downtown LA.
Yeah,
but you won't find that, and I don't care, I might upset people by saying this, but you won't find that at events like Lick and Dip, where yeah, where it's just you know, that's one I tend to stay away from. A little bit debaucherous for my taste.
Yeah. What about do you know Elevate? Is it Elevate
heard,
Angel or something like that?
I haven't heard of Elevate. No.
Okay. Yeah, I follow a few of these different after hours channels on Instagram. Lick and Dip's one, Elevate's another. Ham on Everything. I've been to one, maybe two Ham on Everything events. And those were cool, but it was also a long time ago. Because like I said, I haven't been to an after hours since COVID, so I'm due.
Yeah.
Are you pretty much at after hours every weekend, or what's your schedule like?
I usually will go to Blind Tiger after a Space Yacht Tuesday, because Space Yacht's my family here in LA, my music family.
Yeah.
So I will go to, usually I'll do Space Yacht, and then a lot of us will go, the whole Space Yacht crew typically go to Blind Tiger after, and that night is it's called Deeper, and it's run by my good friend Jorge. His artist name is Koke.
Okay.
And yeah, he runs that night. It's a great night. To every Tuesday night. Wholesome vibes, great vibes.
Man, after hours on Tuesday.
Yeah, and it's always popping, man.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just family in there.
That's rough. How did you transition from, you know, these 5 a.m. mornings in the Navy to like staying up until 5 a.m.?
I mean, honestly, it wasn't that much different, you know. I mean, a lot of the times in the Navy, I was, especially in my job, you know, I was sleepless nights, working crazy hours, you know. So it's kind of bizarre. It wasn't too different, you know. Many times in the Navy, I was up till 5, 6 a.m., you know.
Anyways.
Yeah, just doing whatever the task was at hand. So,
Wow.
now I don't have to do that. And I'm, just in a way, I'm, I guess it's work, but it doesn't really feel like work. I'm just like with my people in my community,
Yeah.
sharing music and at the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. What are some of the, oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Instead of like, blowing shit up in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. What are some of the other like clubs and venues that you perform at?
Sound is my favorite. Sound in Hollywood. I
Okay.
absolutely love Sound. That is my favorite venue in Los Angeles. But I performed at Avalon as well. Avalon, which is in Hollywood. 30 Laundry. Plenty of warehouses. Yeah, Blind Tiger. And a lot of stuff in San Diego as well. Firehouse, bit of Avenue. I have my first out-of-state show doing Space Yacht Las Vegas.
That's sick.
January 31st.
Where's that going to be? In Las Vegas?
Yeah, Las Vegas.
Like where in Las Vegas?
Oh, it's at the like Fremont Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Fremont's wild.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love
Dude,
Fremont.
I was just there and I was probably there at like 12 o'clock and I had just rolled into Vegas and I had a friend who was just like showing me around. So I didn't had like anything to drink at all, like just totally sober on Fremont at 12. And it was a little bit abysmal at that particular point in time just because there's like people like throwing up in the street and like it's just gnarly. I'm like I don't think I'm on the right level for this street yet.
Yeah.
But
it can be like that.
Vegas is a cool city though.
It's a wild city.
I
yeah.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it can be fun. I'm excited to play that one. It'll be cool. It's a UK lineup.
Sweet.
Which is dope. Yeah, it's I'm playing with my friends Crumpet. They do drum and bass.
Okay.
Yeah, another Space Yacht artist. They've been Space Yacht's really putting them on. They're super talented. They're amazing, and they have just such high energy. Joe Orlov is one of the guys. It's Joe Orlov and Matt Berry. Joe is from like North England or North London. And yeah, they're just kind of like crusading like the drum and bass sound, here in the States, which a lot of people are doing, but they're here in LA, they're local and they make great music. They're coming up. So Space Yacht's been putting them on. But yeah, we're going to play together for that Space Yacht Vegas. I'm going to do like a garage, more like I'm going to, I don't just play garage. When I spin, I'll play some everything UK really. I mean, I'll play garage, I'll play some drill, I'll play some UK dubstep, I'll play some breaks. Sick. Yeah, I kind of like to I consider myself a crusader for like UK dance music because that's where my heart is.
Yeah, I was really curious about what the impetus was for your trip to England and your experience there, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, Hans Glader, he had his first tour in England and he was like, hey man, I want to add and he's like, send me a playlist of tunes to play out. So I sent him a playlist and he's like, awesome, I want these ones. So I gave them to him. And this was before we started getting really close. And so yeah, they're in the crate and he was out there playing them. And I was like, man, I got to go. I want to see him. He's playing Printworks, closing season. So I had to pull up to Printworks, and support him and, see, obviously would love to hear my tunes played at Printworks. Like that's a moment. So, yeah, I went out there just, for that. And then, he invited me to play the last show of his tour up in Sheffield with, Drinks on Me, another incredible garage artist.
Yeah.
Makes all kinds of, he's his own guy, Drinks on Me. He makes incredible music, not just garage, but all kinds of just that very UK dance music. And he's a great singer and songwriter too. He sings a lot of his stuff now and just super talented producer. But I got to play that last show with them. And then Hans went home. My manager, Zoe, she went home as well. And I was just alone in London. And I was like, you know what? I want to go to Bristol. Bristol, yeah. Bristol's just been calling my name. So I went to Bristol by myself. I had no return flight either. So I just went out to Bristol and stayed there for like 3.5 weeks.
No way.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Till it's time to, I guess, get a flight home, come back to reality. And
Did you go to this, there's this bar in Bristol. It's in a ship. And the ship is like
Thekla.
Permanently. Is that what it's called?
Thekla.
You went there?
Thekla, yes. I saw Sammy Vergie and Badger
No
and Bush
way.
Baby perform. Yeah, it was
No
actually
way.
the day that Believe, one of my songs, came out.
Oh, sick.
It was like an amazing day. So Believe had dropped that morning.
So cool.
And then I got to walk to Thekla in the pissing rain. Get in there, fucking sold out.
Wow.
Incredible time.
I
Incredible
got to
time.
play a set there like 10 years ago.
Oh, really? I mean, yeah, they put on all kinds of stuff there. It's so sick. Wow.
I was in Bristol and I was trying to find a cousin of mine, or a cousin of my grandma's, actually. And I'm not going to get into that because it's kind of a long story, but basically I had to spend the night in Bristol. And so I got a hostel and I was just looking for something to do. Somehow I wandered into that place and I got to open for this girl named Trinu, who was a singer-songwriter from Paris.
Amazing.
And played a short little set there. But I'll never forget that venue. That's like the thing that I remember from Bristol.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thekla's, yeah.
So that's so cool that I've never actually gotten to talk to anybody else who's like been there before.
Oh man, did you see any Banksy art while you were there?
So this is so tragic. As I was leaving Bristol was when I found out that that's where so much of his work is.
He's from Bristol.
Dude, I have seen some Banksy.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some Banksy stuff like in the West Bank, like on the walls.
Yeah.
And I've been past his like hotel or his hostel.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get to see any in Bristol.
Yeah,
which I'll never forgive myself for.
It's all right. You'll just have to go back. It's plastered all over the city. His art.
Yeah, I know. Well, I got a cousin out there, so I got to go back and see her.
Gotta go. Yeah, I'll be there in February, May, and August into September next year.
Amazing. Playing shows?
Yeah,
Sick.
absolutely. Yeah, I played last time I was there at the Crown. Actually, next time I'll be playing at Thekla.
No way.
Yeah,
dude, maybe I'll have to get out to England.
Check
your set, man.
Please come. Yeah,
tight.
Be awesome. Yeah, you can see your cousin. We'll go look at some Banksy. Cruise the city. I got so many friends there now. I have like a whole community. It's
hell
amazing.
Yeah. Do you notice much of a difference between the EDM scene in England versus here in LA?
It's yeah.
What are some of those differences?
Dude, to put it simply, the UK dance music culture is fancy free. It is down and dirty. It's gritty. And people are just looking for an excuse to dance. We're spoiled here. We have everything we want here. Great weather, events all the time. People make decent money compared to, they work for less. They work harder for less there. Mm-hmm. The weather is shit.
But they do have free healthcare, so.
They what?
They do have free healthcare, so.
They do, yeah. They do have some things going for them. But yeah, I mean, it's just the way society is there. We have so much more convenience here that they don't in England. Mm-hmm. But what it comes down to is, people are looking for an escape, and you can really feel that. You'll see people at 9 p.m. Just letting loose on the dance floor, not a care in the world. They don't give a shit who's looking. You know, they're just there to dance, to have a dance.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Are you a dancer?
I love dancing.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
I mean, my first time, I didn't actually start dancing till I got out of the Navy. So like I started dancing like probably, I was making dance music
yeah,
in the Navy, but I guess I really started to love dancing when I got out. Yeah, and now I go to Blind Tiger most. I rarely play. I can count on one hand how many times I've gone on the decks at Blind Tiger. I just go there to have a dance and see my family.
That's awesome.
Yeah, literally, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, the way that you describe it, it sounds like it's a very close.
It's a tight knit
community.
Yeah, 100%. You'll see the same faces.
That's cool.
But you'll see tons of new people too. People come and obviously, there's like a whole transient. It's an afters.
Yeah.
So tons of people pull up, to dance and party or whatever. But the core of Blind Tiger is very apparent. Yeah, you'll see the same crew running it there. So
yeah. Besides your shows in England, what is on the horizon for you in 2024 with music?
Just a lot of releases. I have my first release with Insomniac coming up. Insomniac is, they like do EDC and they own like Academy here and
yeah, that's crazy.
All
man.
the big clubs.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I have a song coming out on January 30th for the Rotate 12 compilation for Insomniac, which is kind of, I think, what they do to showcase the artists that are going to be pushing throughout the year. So they'll release, all the artists on this compilation, and then all of us will go and do our follow-up EPs. So
nice.
I have an EP coming out in the works. I'm still working on it, but Aaron Kessler is the main A&R, and so far he's just been like, dude, just do you, do your thing, trust you. Creative control kind of, just it's in your hands, like do your thing, just kind of down for whatever, which is amazing. So yeah, doing that with them. Have another EP coming out with Space Yacht in May. Got some just a lot of releases, honestly, a lot of releases. Some collaborations with my boy Hans Glader, remix for him as well. More Nervous Records releases next year. And I won't give it away, but I'm going to be releasing on some UK labels as well next year.
Sick.
Which dream labels I'm really ecstatic about.
It sounds like you've been able to position yourself and network pretty well within the industry. What were the steps that you had to take to get to where you are now, where you're able to have these opportunities releasing with these different labels like Insomniac, Nervous Records, these UK labels? How did that all come about?
Just organically, honestly. I truly believe that I'm just kind of on this path. I'm not forcing anything. I'm just kind of following. I'm just like, one step at a time on this journey, truly. And it's just happened organically. I love people. I love talking to people and hearing their stories and connecting with them before talking about music or business or any of that shit. I just like to connect with people because I love people. That's the one thing that the military has taught me is like life is valuable, Human life is valuable and everyone is so unique and special. We take that shit for granted, man, until they're just gone. So here in the music world, I guess I don't fucking network, dude. I just meet people and like connect with them sometimes, and sometimes I don't, but I don't really force. It's kind of like how we spoke about what happened with Chandler Layton is just organically, and if they ask to hear my music, then I will send it, and then whatever happens from there, really. But putting yourself out there is number one, I would say, going out to events, and I would just go out to events because I want to have a dance. I want to have a dance. I want to have a pint. I want to have a glizzy. And, and
a glizzy?
Yeah.
What's a glizzy?
The street dog. You see the street dogs outside the club.
Yeah. Dude, I've actually never had one.
Oh, man. It's a rite of passage.
Which is wild because I'm surrounded by them downtown. But
yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah.
I'm a street taco, street burrito guy.
I love street tacos too.
Any day of the week, for sure.
Absolutely.
Those hot dogs scare me though, man.
Oh, they're so good.
They smell amazing, but man.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would sit well with me.
You just got to break the seal, man. After the first time you realize, oh, no, this is good. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's part of the culture. That's our culture here, you know. Have a dance, have a pint, have a glizzy.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of going out and doing that and wanting to do that, you know. And where I would just run into people and connect with them, and next thing you know, we're making music, or I'm sending them music because they're A&Rs or whatever, you know. I think people can just see me for who I am, and they're just interested, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the main thing, is just to be genuine and to connect with people, and don't force yourself on people. Don't force, you know, hey man, listen to my mixtape, listen to my demo. Please, can I give you this USB? You know, no, you know, everyone in LA is doing that, and it's just, no one wants that, man. No one wants that. You know, so
it's a funny thing, because I think that on that point, a lot of people think that that's what networking is. Like, you move to LA, and it's like, okay, I got to go meet people, and I got to put myself in front of them, and I got to try to push my agenda. And maybe that works sometimes, maybe. And maybe that works for some people, but I think that the biggest flourishings come from just genuine human connection.
100% agreed.
And when that's the focus, because there's people that you're not going to connect with. There's people that you're not going to vibe with.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
That's 100% okay.
Yes.
But when you find people that you just genuinely gel with, like, that's a beautiful thing in and of itself. And I think that there's naturally good things that flow out of that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to focus on. I think that honestly, it took me a long time to realize that. Like, moving to LA, I think that was something that I didn't maybe wake up to until like a few years into being here. That was like just the most important thing, was just find people that I genuinely connect with first and foremost. And out of that, whatever is supposed to flow is going to flow.
This is the way.
Mm-hmm.
This is the way.
But moving to LA is also such an interesting experience too. I mean, do you feel homesick at all about San Diego? Obviously, San Diego is a very quick drive.
Yeah, no, I don't feel homesick. Yeah, because I can go home. I go home a lot and see my family, and I'll go down there just to reset sometimes, because, you know, LA is a bit chaotic at times. So, yeah, I'll go home and reset. You know, go surf my home break and see my family, make music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just cruise around my old stomping grounds.
Yeah. What part of LA are you in?
I live like in downtown Burbank.
Oh, okay. Downtown Burbank.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like east of the 5, there's the downtown Burbank, like San Fernando strip, where the IKEA is. You know where the IKEA is?
Yep.
Yeah. And then
I need to make a trip out there, actually.
Yeah, I actually do as well. I need a new bed frame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mine's getting too creaky and old. I got to replace it. But
yeah.
I live, just in that neighborhood. There's like a suburb up. There's the Verdugo Mountains right there. There's just suburbs there, and I live there in the suburbs.
Nice.
Which is like great, because it's like 25 minutes away from Hollywood and downtown. It's nice to be outside of, you know, just an arm's reach, I guess, from everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, my studio is like 7 minutes from my house.
Beautiful.
So yeah, everything. Yeah, it's nice to be there.
That's tight. And are you doing music full time, or do you?
Yeah.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah, just music.
That's really incredible. Do you see yourself in LA for the foreseeable future? Or?
For sure. Yeah. I'm gonna move to England at some point, for some time. I don't know when. Maybe in 2025.
Yeah.
I'm working. Yeah. It depends on just the artist visa thing. I'll be able to get an artist visa, I think, soon.
Yeah.
Probably this next year. And yeah, I want to spend some time there in Bristol. I want to move to Bristol.
Bristol. Yeah. Incredible. Did you ever go to a little village called Temple Cloud?
I never went to, no.
But do you know
I've
of
never
it?
heard of Temple Cloud, no.
It's a village. It's outside of Bristol.
Okay.
Probably 30 minutes. There's a bookstore out there called the International Book Barn. And they claim to be like the biggest used bookstore in the world. They have like over 1 million books. It's an incredible spot. Next time you're in Bristol, you have to go. The International
February.
Book Barn.
I'll text you after to follow up.
I hope that it's like still there.
It'll be there, I'm sure.
But when I was finding my cousin, I kind of like had to fill in some of the time, and I ended up there wandering around. But it's a really cool spot.
Amazing.
So, did you go to England, but like at some point in time before this last trip? Like, what put England on the map for you? Was it music or?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go out anyways to England because, you know, as a American that, you know, produces like UK dance music, you know, you know, Hans going out there on tour, perfect excuse to get out there and immerse myself in the culture.
Yeah.
And then I just went right back, you know, a few months later by myself again, spent more time there. I spent like over a month in Bristol the second time.
Yeah. What do you think of London?
London's cool. I can only do a few days in London at a time before it's a little bit overstimulating for me. It's kind of like New York City or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer to just go there for a few days and then just honestly, I just like Bristol's my home away from home. So I've literally spent no more than like 3 days in London at a time. I just shoot over to Bristol right after.
Yeah. I love London. It's definitely a place that I want to return to.
It's a fun city.
This is my last going into this next year. This is my last year to apply for a holiday work visa through Canada to go live and work in England.
Oh, you got to take advantage of that.
I know, and I've been telling myself that I'm gonna do it for the last like 2 years, and I'm like, I gotta get this visa, because at least if I have it, then I can go. Then I'm able to. I don't have to, but I can do it.
Yeah.
But the chance to like live and work in England, I feel like would be so cool.
Yeah, man.
So, and the music scene in
incredible.
England is so fascinating to me.
It's so good. I mean, everything, all music, live music is actually popping. And it's in England, live music is just the scene is amazing.
Yeah.
For every type of live music, you know, whether it be like everything from like folk to like death metal.
Wow.
And everything in between, you know what I mean? Yeah. Incredible scene there. So.
Well, I'm excited to get back out there.
Yeah, man.
When you go to listen to live music, primarily are you listening to EDM?
No.
Or do you kind of go to all sorts of stuff?
I like jazz.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What jazz spots do you go to?
Noir jazz. Honestly, I haven't found any good ones here. I found one jazz club in Hollywood, but it's really expensive. It costs like, so you're gonna spend like $100. You're gonna spend a ticket fee, which is like $50, and then your meal's gonna be about $100.
Dang, yeah.
But the music's incredible. Only been there one time. I can't remember the name of it. It's a really popular one though. I want to say it is just south of Sunset. Actually, you know, it's in between Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset.
Okay.
It's in between Hollywood Boulevard and Sunset.
Okay.
I don't know. When I find out the name, I'll let you know.
Have you ever been to the Varnish?
No, I've heard of the Varnish though.
Yeah, my buddy Jake Chapman, he was actually on the podcast like several episodes ago. He's a jazz player.
Sick.
And
I would love to connect
with
with him and hear his music.
Jazz sessions at the Varnish. He has like a little jazz trio. He plays keys and there's like upright bass and then
amazing
drums, keys, upright bass.
Perfect.
I think they just played one this week actually.
Sick. I would love to go.
Yeah, I'll show you the details.
Please. Yeah, Wednesdays you said?
I think it's Wednesdays.
Oh, that's an ideal night for
me.
But
the Varnish is tight too because there's at Cole's.
I've heard. Yeah,
it's like in the back room and you have to like ring the, I don't even know, because it's like a speakeasy.
Yeah.
But that place is cool. I think they also do some jazz at the Roosevelt Hotel. That might be Wednesdays too. I got to tap a couple of my my references on this, and I'll shoot you the details.
There's one also Tuesday nights, I believe. I mean, last year. I don't know if there's still like Madam Siam.
Yeah. I've actually never been to Madam Siam, but Tay, the one who like runs Bite the Noise.
Yeah.
I think she's done a ton of stuff at Madam Siam.
Cool. Okay.
So did you get you performed that night, right?
I've played there.
Yeah. So sick. So sick. Tay was actually the very first podcast that I ever did. Because we used to throw shows here.
Right. Oh yeah, you're saying that.
Yeah, we used to throw shows together. She actually performed a show here before COVID.
Crazy.
Yeah, I had booked her because I knew somebody who recommended her. So she performed here before COVID, and then like a year later, or maybe a year and a half too, she like hit me up and was like, "Hey, are you still throwing shows? Do you want to throw shows together?" And so we started doing Bite the Noise shows here, way back in the end of the COVID era.
Yeah, we got to get something going again. Not necessarily like a loud show, but like more of like a mixer.
Yeah. What are you thinking? What do you have in mind?
I think I could bring a crew.
Yeah.
I could bring a really good crew. Great artists, selectors. Just have like a little mixer, get together, kind of a wholesome vibe.
I like that. I'm super into that.
Yeah, maybe we'll like, have some food and some drinks and
that sounds awesome.
And just like good vibes, like upbeat, dance, nothing dark. It'd be more vibey.
Dude, I'm super down. We'd have to do it on like we'd have to like end like we couldn't go super late.
Yeah.
Like if we did it on Friday night, we could maybe go to like 11.
Oh, perfect.
Push it to 11.
Yeah, perfect. And then we can all go to Blind Tiger after.
Dude, sick. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. 2024.
Yeah, I'd love to, man.
I'm excited for it. I feel like there's a lot of cool things that are on the horizon. I'm really excited to hear these new records that you have coming out. What advice would you give to somebody who is trying to make their way either as a producer or as a DJ?
Just make your music, man. Make your music, speak your truth. Don't make music for anyone else except for yourself. And not out of ego. I believe, people, not everyone believes in God. People believe in the universe or a higher power, but we'll just say the universe will, as a artist, musician, producer, the universe will bless you with an idea. And it could be based on a recent experience like heartbreak or anything really, a loss of a friend or something positive on the other side of the spectrum, a song about your dog, whatever. But the universe will, or God will give you this idea, right? And us as musicians, producers, artists, we're just vessels to transcribe this idea. Act on that and do it your way for yourself. And if you do it that way, I think you will evoke emotion. People will feel, the message that you want to portray. And that's what's most important.
For people who are in the military or coming out of the military, when it comes to like issues regarding mental health, well-being, PTSD, do you have a word of like comfort or a word of advice that you would give?
Get a fucking therapist, man. Therapist changed my life.
Yeah.
Having somebody to talk to. And it's not, you can talk to your friends and your family all day, but therapists have the tools to help you reprogram, these habits that you'll create, from like PTSD, like, they'll give you, just tools and techniques to help you cope better and help start reprogramming your brain, really. And that was invaluable for me, alongside of making music, finding a creative outlet, I think is truly healing. So if you can find a creative outlet, any outlet, anything, just a creative one. It could be woodworking, it could be making knives, it could be making music, it could be drawing, it could be animating, filming, photography. Any sort of creative outlet, I think, is extremely cathartic, and it's nourishing for the soul, and it will be a part of that healing process.
Wow.
Along with therapy, I truly believe therapy is important. Have somebody to talk to.
Was it hard for you to make that step, or was it pretty natural?
I started seeing a therapist when I was in, so yeah, and same with making music. It all just kind of happened, and I learned this as I was going on.
Yeah. Well, dude, you have a very powerful story.
I appreciate
a very interesting story that's continuing to unfold, and I'm super excited to see the direction that it goes. I'm super excited to hear the music that's coming around the corner, and I'm super excited to just hopefully be a part of that journey. At least come and see your shows and listen to your music, and it's been an honor to have you on the podcast. So thank you so much for sharing your story and opening up about your life and your journey.
Thank you so much for having me, man. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here and talk about this stuff. So,
where can people find your music, your socials, all the things that you want them to find?
Yeah, just on Spotify, it's just Wes Pierce. On Instagram, it's just Wes Pierce. Apple Music, Wes Pierce. YouTube, it's all Wes Pierce. It's all very consistent. But yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have the handle of just my name. So
nice.
No underscores or any of that stuff. Just my name.
Okay, right on. Well, I'll make sure to link everything in the description of this podcast. So make sure to check it out. It's some pretty sick music. So
cheers, man.
Dude, Wes, thank you so much for coming on, man. And I'm excited for the future, bro. So
appreciate you, bros.
You too, man. Thank you for listening to the Spring Street Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, sign up for the Patreon to receive exclusive behind-the-scenes content and check out the sponsor links in the description.